Hey everybody, my name is JTM14, and today we will be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Voyager class Starscream. Now, if you guys haven't seen my last video, which you can check out links in the description, I opened this guy up. And it was quite a challenge according to one YouTube comment. And it kinda wasn't, but it was definitely a little bit frustrating when I got him out of the box. Anyways, we're not talking about the box, we're talking about this figure. Now, where did I get this guy? Well, I just got this guy at my Target, where they had him for about 30 bucks. Now, I know some of you young viewers of mine have one question. What is this all mode? Who is Starscream? Well, if you don't know who Starscream is, he is basically Megatron's second in command. Oh shit! As I was saying, Starscream is Megatron's second in command, and as for this alt mode, well, if you guys didn't watch the original G1 cartoon, you wouldn't know what this alt mode is. But if you did, this is the Tetrajet from the very first episode of the Transformers. And I gotta say, I love this look. This look is amazing for Starscream, better than the freaking Power of the Primes one, I can tell you that. Just like, look at this detail, man. Yeah, the freaking battle damage looks like spots, but I don't really care, cause the jet mode is so awesome looking. Now, there's one complaint that everybody has with their Starscream. This back piece. This becomes the chest in robot mode. But when you go to transform it, most people Starscreams, this chest right here is going to pop off. Now, I did not have that happen to me, and I thought there was a pin. I thought there was a pin in it, like later releases, but no, there actually isn't. And I'm afraid that this chest is going to start popping off soon, and I'm really not looking forward to that. But let's talk about the accessories. Now, as for Starscream's accessories, these are all only accessories he comes with. I do not mind. What other accessories should Starscream come up with anyways? I think these are fine. Now, some of you non-Transformer fans may be asking, well, what are these things? These are his null rays. Why are they detachable? Why not? Some people have been complaining that it doesn't really look like the null rays from the original G1 cartoon. I do not care. They are stylized to fit in with the Siege aesthetic. They're not supposed to look exactly like a G1 cartoon. Now, as for Siege's gimmick, what you can do with these guns is that you can stick one of these little blast effect parts onto either side of the null rays. Now, I'd rather put one at the front, but you can do whatever you want with your Starscream. Now, where else can these little blast effect parts go? Well, they can go in these thrusters. Nah, I don't really care for that. I don't really put those there. And this detail on the back of the null rays looks like a mini thruster, which is pretty neat. Now, let's get on to the size comparisons. Here we have Siege Voyager Prime, Siege Prowl, Siege Fire Drive, and finally, another Cybertronian jet, Titan's Return, Trigger Happy. Now we got that all out of the way, let's get Siege Starscream transformed into robot mode. Now, to start off this transformation, what you're going to do is that you're actually going to take off the null rays first. I know, parts forming. You can perfectly transform him with these on, but I just find it easier to take them off. Now, come to the chest. You want to unpeg it and swing it down carefully so that way the chest doesn't pop off. Then, you want to reach here. Put both of your fingers here and open up the toe and heel. The same thing with the other side. And you got 2 feet. Now, this whole thruster section back here will unpeg from the back, swing all the way up, peg into place, and then swing down, and it will slot in that little hole right there. Now, as for the wings, want to unpeg them, swing them all the way up to get them out of the way. For the arms, unpeg them from the legs. Open this flap up, fold out the fist. Then you want to take this, and it's on a double hinge joint. You want to extend it until it snaps into place like that. And then close up the arm. Do the same thing with the other side. Fold out the fist, extend the arm, close it back up, and then you got 2 arms. Now, for the legs, you want to swing them down like that, and here's a pretty cool part. You see how these are filled in? These are spring-loaded panels. Sometimes stick into place, but I don't really care. Now, as for this giant cockpit, be very careful with this part. You might break your Siege Starscream, but I have not had any breakage so far. You want to split the nose cone and then rotate it up. But not all the way up, because you still need to get that head out. You see? Actually, let me raise the camera a bit so that way you can see him. Alright. Now, you want to take this whole chest section, and there are these 2 square pegs right here. Oop. Those 2 square pegs will go into this giant slot right here. Ba-bam! Now, flip up the head, and there's a tiny panel back here which is pegged into the head. You want to unpeg it, fold it all the way down and inside the chest. Then, you want to take these nose cone parts, swing them all the way up, and there are these tabs and holes on each side. You want to get those tabs into those holes to lock everything into place. Now you want to unpeg those because you accidentally missed a step in the transformation, swiveling the waist around so that way his feet are pointing forward. Then lock the backpack. into place. Then situate these wings however you want. I prefer to use these rotation joints and these hinge joints too, to make them look more menacing / dynamic. I don't know. And now finally, the last part of his transformation. Put the null rays into the holes on the shoulders. And ba-bam! You have Starscream in robot mode. This is so weird that I love this figure. Nah, probably not. A lot of people love him too. Look at this robot mode. It's almost completely show accurate. Look at, I wouldn't say lack of detail, because he's got tons of detail that is pretty freaking amazing. But just look at this figure. The feel of the figure is nice and solid. The look of the figure is very nice and solid. And he doesn't look like a giant Dorito with chicken legs to walk on. But how can this figure get any better? Well, I'll show you. Holy god dang moly. This figure has some excellent light piping. And I already said in the past that I didn't like light piping. Well, now I do, just because of this figure. Look at that light piping. It's like really menacing. And also, he can stick a little pen down his chest to look like he has his spark in there glowing, which is a pretty cool effect. But you do have like a giant flashlight pen sticking out of his back. Now that we're taking a close look at his face, let us see that detail. Just hold on a minute. Oh boy! That is one smexy looking head, if I do say so myself. But why is he frowning? He should be pulling out that deceiving smirk that he usually has. Or you could just get a Thundercracker or Skywarp and switch their heads. But I don't have those figures, so this head is going to have to do. And that beautifully sculpted head is on a ball joint, which can look up that far, can look down that far. If he uses extra transformation joy, he can look even more up, but that looks terrible. His arms are not on a ball joint, but are in fact on a hinge swivel system, which means he's got a rotation here and a hinge joint here going outward. But he also has a hinge joint here to point his null rays right at you. Now, if you have a little bit trouble with rotating the arm because of these wings, I already told you, boy, they have a hinge joint and a swivel joint just to get out of the way. That's pretty nifty. Well, what else is really nifty on this figure? He has a waist swivel. But the waist swivel is not really that much since it's blocked by the butt kibble. Now, back to the arms. He has a rotation at the bicep. He has a double hinge joint at the elbow, thanks to that transformation. And he has a hinge here for pointing his fist down for some reason, I don't know. And he also has a rotation at the wrist, which was pretty nice. That was a bit awkward. But you do not want to swivel it this way, especially when the arm panel is loose like that. You want to actually turn it this way so the arm panel doesn't open, or you can simply hold the arm like that to get that swivel joint working. His legs can kick forward that far, can't kick back that far. Yes. He has a hinge joint, which can make him do the banana splits. He's got a thigh rotation, and he's got a well over 90-degree single bend at the knee. And if you want even more range, you can push this panel in, and you get more range. Now, a little tip for you, for your Siege Starscream. If you're going to transform this guy, these thighs will not push on the panel itself. You actually have to push it yourself. So stop being freaking lazy. The foot has a hinge joint here. There's also a hinge joint at the heel and a hinge joint at the foot, but that's more for the transformation. And he's got what? That's it? That's all he has for an ankle pivot? Huh. Okay, I guess. Okay. That's fine. But what he lacks in pivot, he doesn't lack in playability. As I mentioned before, you could put the Siege Blast Effect part on the end and the front of the null race. You can also put them on these thrusters back here, but you can also put some on the feet. Now that doesn't really work if you put a stand right under this pants. I mean freaking crotch, god dang it. Anyways, he's also got 5mm ports in his hands, but why would you hold up? Why would you hold that? He's also got 5mm port in his elbow. And he even has one of those little nubs right on his shoulder, which you could just boop. I don't really do that most of the time. Now, let us get on to the size comparisons. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm going. Here we have Siege Optimus Prime, which I already made this comparison in my last video, which you can check out, links in the description. And you can also check out this guy's review, links in the description. Next we have Transformers War for Cybertron Siege, Deluxe Class Prowl, and he just about comes up to his lower chest. Here we have Battle Master Fire Drive, which bow comes up to his knees. And again, Titans Return, Trigger Happy. And I think these guys actually look pretty good together, even though the Trigger Happy's not a secret. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is the paint. It is very durable, except for this little Decepticon symbol, which one of the ears has been chipped off, and I fear the worst for this other one, and even these two on the sides, the wings in jet mode. And again, the battle damage is not the greatest paint, but it's definitely not the worst. I've definitely seen worse paint jobs on a figure, but I'll live. Now, you might be asking me, Jason, where can I buy this sexy hunk of plastic? Well, you can probably check your local Walmart, your local Target, or maybe even check out the Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not sponsored by them, I just really like their website. Now, that is my review of Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Voyager Class Starscream, and I can't wait to get that delicious looking Voyager Class Gray Tyrant we all know.